that video, I'm in full-fledged panic. If that's what Aaron and them are doing, I'm like, what the fuck is Miguel doing?
Look to me, bro. I know you and Sierra, it's pretty obvious that you guys really do hit it off.
She's a vibe, she's got good chat, and she's sexy. And
as women, it's important for us to support one another. Yes, I get that. But in certain situations, there is a way of supporting one another without leading each other astray. I dislike the way the girls behaved when the guys came from Casa. It's one thing to have smoke for your guy, but it's another thing to make another woman feel like she's less than. I understand Kayla because Kayla has been good to Aaron throughout from their first recoupling. But Serena, I have no empathy. I hate that she's crying, but I have no empathy for the situation she's found herself in because she has done this to him countless times. She might not have dry humped somebody, but she has explored connections countless times. She's kissed a couple of people. So the audacity to be upset. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA Season 6, Episode 19. So you have Kayla still crying about Aaron. She can't believe that Aaron has done this to her. And it's like, it is what it is. You need to make a decision. Do you still want to keep going with him or do you want to move on? You have her girl still hyping her up. Liv, when she leaves the villa, needs to be a motivational speaker for those that need sort of motivation because of the way she was able to continue to hype and hold up Kayla while Kayla was freaking out. And so, what do I think? I didn't like the UK comment she made. She should have explained herself because it can be seen as derogatory or very disrespectful. I think what she was trying to say was he lives in a different continent altogether, so he could be up to no good and I wouldn't know because I live in America, so it's a good thing I've seen him while we're still here in the villa and I know how he moves. And so when we leave the villa, I know that there is a possibility that he might explore connections with other people, so I need to be mindful of that. I think this is what she was trying to say, but then she didn't say that, and I hope people don't drag her for it, but I hope she also explains herself because it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. Anyway, you have Serena. Serena is just pacing. She's not crying. She's not doing anything. She's just pacing. She can't believe Cordell has done this. Yeah, she says she was open to him exploring connections, but she didn't think that he would explore connections in a disrespectful way. And it's like, well, you're technically not boyfriend and girlfriend. You are exploring connections. He is exploring connections with other people. You refuse to kiss Nigel, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't do anything because you didn't do anything. That's not fair. And so I don't know why she's this aggrieved because it's not like her connection was as strong or as Kayla thought hers was. Yeah, she feels some type of way because he's played her. She's entitled to that because she thought she was running the relationship, suddenly to find out that actually she was in the passenger seat and he was just waiting for his moment to sort of show her that he is in control of this relationship. For her to call out his age, that he's 22 years old, I didn't like that. I always don't like it when people sort of fall back to somebody's age and say, oh, they're a child, they're immature, they're this, that, and the other. And it's like, nah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. You're 2 years older than him. Don't make it seem like, he's that old. And so I don't know, really. I don't know how that's going to play out. You have Dia, how old is she, by the way? She is 27. Yeah, so she's 5 years older than him. I thought he was 26. I thought Cordell was 26. Maybe I misheard it on the first day. Anyway, you go to Casa, you have the boys in Casa, you have Rob and Aaron, that couple. Anyway, they're having a conversation. Here's what I think. I think Aaron had feelings for Daniela, and I think he really loved her story. And so he wanted to bring her back to the villa to give her more opportunity for her to sort of get more airtime. And sadly, someone must have given him a heads up that the girls in the villa know what he's been up to. And I think this is why he's decided to pass her on to Rob so that Rob can bring her back instead, because it doesn't make sense why he would suddenly want to pass her on to Rob unless Rob has been interested and has been taking a backseat. But it doesn't make sense still because they are the closest of friends. Even Rob said, we are close friends. How do I hang out with her and hang out with you? Because I want to spend as much time with you as possible. So I think there's a lot of sort of shuffling of chairs that has happened in the background with the producers. This is why we're in the situation whereby he is sort of Aaron is now talking to Rob about, are you interested in exploring a connection with her? How do you feel about that? And then he has the audacity. So Rob tells him, I've been in Casa before and it's bad when people string you along. So if you want to, go and have a conversation with her and tell her that you're not bringing her back to the villa so she has more of an opportunity to explore connections with other people. I thought they weren't allowed to do that. This is why I think it's production manipulation. So you have Aaron pull Daniela for a conversation and sort of say to Daniela, I feel like I am not sort of going to pursue our connection any further. So if you want, you can try and have conversations with other guys. I know for a fact, the fact that he diverted her to Rob and said, I know for a fact Rob really likes you. He's a very good guy. He's this, that, and the other. And it's like, why are you hyping her up for Rob? I think this is a setup. I think he really liked Daniela, or he wanted to give her as much airtime as possible and was planning on bringing her to the villa and must have found out about the backlash in the villa. This is why he's decided to pass her on to Rob. And Rob, being friends with Aaron, has decided to sort of just take the mantle on for his friend. I don't know whether there's a romantic connection there. Unless we weren't being shown something, this switcheroo doesn't make sense. People in Casa are mad. There's something in the air in Casa, really. There's something in the air. And it seems like these villas are back to back. Looking at it now, I don't know. Because when the people in the villa were shouting, the guys in Casa could hear them. Anyway, you had Kayla. She was talking to the guys in the kitchen. And she was just trying to go through her phone and watch the video again, and the boys were trying to distract her and tell her that no, this is not a good idea. Leave this alone. Just focus on you and do you and leave this. This is not helpful. This is not doing you any good. And so I like the fact that you had Ignacio joking that, you know, they were speaking in Spanish. They didn't realize that you had your own translator here, so you were able to understand what they were saying. And it's like, I love the Casa boys. I love the fact that they're, you know, trying to sort of hype up the girls and not let the girls sort of self-destruct, which was good. And then you have Rob now having a conversation with Daniela. I don't know how I feel about that connection, because had it happened organically, as Aaron said, then I'd say, oh, they make an amazing couple. But the fact that Daniela had to be pushed to have this conversation, or Rob had to sort of be steered into having this conversation, is where my question lies. That is this a genuine connection, or is this a producer-driven connection? Are the producers trying to get them to sort of create a couple and create more drama? Because if Aaron doesn't bring her back, if Rob brings her back, as Aaron said, then there's going to be drama in the sense that how will Kayla feel seeing the girl that was messing around with her guy in the villa with somebody else? It's going to be messy, and it's going to be interesting to watch, to say the least, because how do you explain that to the girls? How do you sort of rationalize the fact that, you know, she was in a situation with Aaron and now she's suddenly in a situation with Rob? Even Aaron himself was actually saying, oh, I don't know how I feel because I was sort of I encouraged this to take place, and now when she comes back to the villa, how will Kayla feel seeing her? And it's like, well, you'll have to deal with it, big boy. You'll have to put on your big boy pants and deal with it. And then you have Miguel, and he's speaking to Kendall and Rob. Kendall is just encouraging the mess. Kendall is living for the mess, and so he will encourage anything and everything just so there's drama, because he is not involved in this, so he doesn't care what's going on. You know, if the guy is self-destruct, the better for him. I think his eye is more on the prize than anything else, because it doesn't make sense why he's encouraging this naughty behavior. And Miguel is right to say he doesn't know whether he's got an emotional connection with Sierra, or whether it's just a sexual connection, because obviously he's told her that she excites his little boy. So it's going to be surprising what happens with him, because you have Leah in the villa saying that, you know, I am worried that if this is how Kendall and Aaron are moving, I can only imagine what Miguel is doing, and so can we. I can't wait for movie night to come because I want Miguel to still be in the villa and for Leah to see him. So you have Leah and Janae having a conversation because they are worried because the two guys they expected to behave the most are the guys that have gone back wild. And so they're now questioning whether if those two could go that crazy, what about the guys that they are in couples with? What are they up to? What are they up to? Because if Cordell and Aaron can misbehave, what are, Kenny and Miguel up to? The good thing about Leah is she's not lying to herself. She knows that Miguel lives for the drama, the theatrics. So I don't think she'll be surprised if he brings anyone. She might be upset, but she wouldn't be surprised. Whereas with Kenny, well, he told... It's surprising, suddenly, speaking to Sydney, he's told Sydney that, I have known you for 3 days, the same amount of time that I've known Janae. And so it's a matter of me sort of trying to understand which connection is stronger, which connection is better. What do I think? As I said before, all boys are too young for Janae. Janae needs a more mature man. It's a pity Coy was not willing to graft, because had he been willing to graft, he would have been an ideal match for her at her age. And for her to sort of ask Leah to say, who would you want between Jacoby and Josiah? What do you think, Sherlock Holmes? What do you think? Obviously, she's going to go for the guy who was involved in 2 relationships because she said she likes the theatrics, she likes the drama. She can't really be dealing with someone who's very laid back. That's not her type of jam, so I don't get it. So in the morning, everyone is just wandering around the villa because obviously some people slept outside. Surprise, surprise, Aaron slept outside. Leah actually slept outside with Serena. I guess she had to because when she was going through a tough time, Serena slept out with her. So she had to she needed someone to console her. So she had to be that supportive friend. And Liv went and supported Kayla, which was good. In the morning, people are just everyone is anxious because they know it's about to be time to go back to the villa and everyone wants to be taken to the villa. So they're going to try and push to be taken to the villa. And it's like, oh my God, it's about to be cutthroat here. Hopefully people don't just end up going to the villa just for the sake of it, just to be the first person dumped, but they actually go because they actually feel like there's a strong connection. The girls are dragging at Kenny, and it's like, nah, I don't think it's a good look though. I don't think it's a good look because you have Destiny, I think is her name, and Sydney sort of trying to... He went to bed with Sydney because Sydney said she wanted a cuddle, and then Destiny came to him and wanted a kiss, and it's like, oh my God. Why are we doing this? Why are we being this desperate? If this guy likes us, let's him just choose us. Don't continue to push for something that's not there. One of the Casa boys pulls Kayla for a chat, which was good, but I think it was more producer driven because it seems too convenient for them to pull her for a chat when she's very vulnerable. It was good of her to say, no, I'm in a vulnerable position, so I can't kiss you. But I like the fact that Liv and Nicole were there trying to listen to what was going on. She was flirting, and it was good for her because it cheered her up. So at least Kayla seems happy at the moment. I don't know about the boys. Aaron is now feeling like a jerk. I think he must have heard Kayla cry, and this is why he's sort of decided to take steps back because he knows it's not a good look. Because his sudden turnaround doesn't make sense. And the fact that Rob is now all guns blazing for Daniela doesn't make sense to me as well. So it's either when the girls received the text message and they were screaming and shouting, he must have heard it and he must have taken a step back, Aaron, and this is why, because you can tell he's still attracted to her because he tried to kiss her when he broke up with her. So I don't know how this is going to play out. This episode is dragging and I really don't know why. Anyway, the Islanders receive a text message to say that there'll be a recoupling. Everyone is very anxious because they don't know what's going to happen, and so you have the girls. The girls are ready for war because they want to grill the boys because of what's happened in Casa. The boys have no idea what's been happening, so they are going into this blind. And well, good luck to all of them because some of them have been very naughty. The boys are struggling with their decisions as well because some of them were in new couples. Some have been in their couple since day one and have missed about. So it's a struggle to see who's going to survive this and who's not. Anyway, Ariana Maddox arrives and reveals that, there will be a recoupling, and the first person to recouple is Liv, because obviously Liv is, she's the single one. So she gets to recouple and she chooses to recouple with Kane. Am I surprised? No, because Kane tried it with Nicole. When it didn't work out with Nicole, he then went for Liv because Liv was the single one and Liv has decided to couple up with him. We really haven't seen their connection because Liv has been more focused on the Kayla fallback, that we haven't had a chance to sort of see anything to do with her. So I can't wait to see what happens now that we get to see her in her couple. Next up is Kendall and Nicole. They are asked, do you want to recouple with somebody else or do you want to stick with your current partner? They both choose to stick. Am I surprised? No. Kendall played it smart. He decided to play the long game. He was living vicariously through everybody else, and so he was never going to recouple with anyone. He was going to stick to Nicole because he doesn't want to look like the bad guy, or maybe the girls didn't like him that way, so he just decided to stick to Nicole because he felt he was safer there. Up next is Leah. Leah has been saying all along that, she knows that Miguel is going to recouple. And Miguel did not disappoint because he brought Sierra with him. And the audacity for him to be asked, so what's up? He goes, well, I was coupled up with Leah for 2 days. And I've always said I want to get to know everyone just so I can find the right partner for myself. So I'm not closing things off with Leah. And it's like, but you have Sierra stood next to you. Make that make sense. That math ain't mathing. Focus on the person you brought, not the person you left, and the person you brought. That's confusing. Leah actually said, I told the girls that there is a strong possibility Miguel is going to bring someone, so I'm not surprised by this. And it is what it is. Really, I'm trying to behave myself, but the fact that... So next up is Janae. Janae, I've said this before, I'll say this again. Janae is messing around with small kids, and this is why she's getting the problems that she's having. She's not looking at someone who's mature, someone who's serious about a relationship. She's looking for a good time, and every time she picks these small boys, they're messing about with her. So she decided to stick with Kenny, and what did Kenny do? Kenny brought someone from Casa. He brought Catherine. And she had already said, if you bring someone, hold my mic. And the other two guys that are there are nervous because they already know that he's bringing someone. And so for her to kick off, they've only known each other for 3 days. And she said it before, she'll say it again. She's used to being number one. And so the fact that she's not being chosen number one is the reason why she was saying, bring my bag. I want to go home. I'm fed up. I'm done with this. I want to go home. And it's like, well... in the real world, you struggle to find someone. This is why you're on Love Island. If I were you, I'd settle down. This is not the end of the world. Bombshells are still coming in. So sit your bottom down and wait and see what happens. For her to interrogate Kenny the way she did, it was uncomfortable. And this shows that he's not experienced enough to sort of deal with someone like Janaea. Janaea needs a grown man. She doesn't need a small boy. And he was cowering, and Catherine felt uncomfortable because it looked like he was being told off by a teacher or a parent or a mentor to say, how dare you do this? And it's like, why are you doing this to this boy? He doesn't deserve this. You chose him. And at the end of the day, if this is who he's chosen, there's nothing you can do about it. It's either you suck it up, buttercup, or you deal with what's, you keep it moving. You pick your bag and you go home. Next up is Kayla and Aaron. Kayla says, she saw the video. This is the first time the boys are finding out about the video. And you can see Kendall's face is shocked because he doesn't know what they saw. And all the boys don't know what the girls saw. So Aaron comes out. He is single. He's chosen to remain single. Kayla has already said she's not recoupling with him. She wants to be single. So which means they're both single. And he's ecstatic that she's standing there on her own. And the floor just fell from beneath him because then he found out about the video. And his argument was, we'll talk afterwards. And Ariana Maddox is something else. She said, no, I've got plenty of time. If you want to talk, go ahead. And it's like, this is uncomfortable. I think all he should have said was, I'm sorry. That's all he should have said. I'm sorry about what you saw, and I have a lot more to say to you, and I think we need to have an open and honest conversation. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry that you felt that I wasn't loyal to you or that I betrayed you, but please allow me to explain what happened. That would have been fine. I don't think Kendall should have caught the strays because Kendall was just laughing at what was happening in front of him, saying, oh my God, this is not Kayla, the way he's behaving. Because with Kayla, he's more reserved, he's more this, that, and the other. He wasn't saying it in a way as to encourage that behavior. And sadly, this is the way he's being portrayed. In my next life, I want a friend like Liv. Because Liv is that girl. She stood by her friend, she supported her friend, and made it known that Aaron doesn't deserve this girl, and she doesn't deserve to be treated the way she was treated, which was very good. So I love that for her. For Ariana to tell them to swap seats so that the girls could sit together was just something else, because now all the single girls are sitting together and Aaron has to move closer to the boys, and it's really sad. It's really sad. I think Aaron played himself. I think he must have heard the screaming and the shouting from the villa and immediately decided to backtrack from Daniela. He should have stood on business. He should have brought Daniela back if that's what he wanted, instead of pawning her off to Rob. That doesn't make sense to me, because he still has her in the villa, but it's just he's asked somebody else to bring her. And because Rob did not have any strong connections with anyone else, he's happy to bring Daniela for his friend. That doesn't make sense. So next up is Rob. The producers are messy because they knew that once Daniela came out, the girls would recognize her. And Kayla was excited for Rob at first because she didn't know who the girl was, until the other girls told her that that's the girl that Aaron was trying to kiss in the video. And then everything turned. I don't like when girls are messy. I don't like when girls are mean to one another. If you have smoke, let your smoke be for Rob and Aaron and Kendall, because they know what's going on here. This girl has nothing to do with it. She just wanted to come to the main villa. The boys facilitated it. You deal with the boys. She has nothing to do with it. For people like Nicole to involve themselves in this mess, I do not know why. This is not her business. Her business is with Kendall. She has nothing to do with Rob. She has nothing to do with Aaron. And so I hope she minds her business. For the other girls like Janaea, why are they asking? Why are you asking? It's very uncomfortable to make someone else feel uncomfortable. And I don't get why the girls always have to be mean-spirited towards one another. I don't like that. So last up is Serena and Cordell. Serena has this speech, oh, we watched the video, we felt like this. I sound like a parrot. I keep repeating myself. I sadly am not buying it. The fact that she's, oh, you know, I was all my man. So you were only my man when you knew he was going to Casa. Before Casa, you were not my man while he was around. So the moment his back was turned, this is when you started thinking about your man. I don't get it. Cordell came out, he came with Dea. Dea had to keep reminding him, hold your head high. You did what you felt was comfortable for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And I don't like the way the girls were chastising the boys as though they were talking to little kids. This got on my nerves. The level of disrespect. They need to take a page from Mimi's book. Please, Mimi, come and educate these girls. Yes, we want drama, but there's a way of doing drama without being disrespectful. Yes, the guys were disrespectful. You don't need to go to the gutter just because they've gone low. You don't need to do that. And I don't like the fact that all the girls whose guys recoupled made the girls feel like crap and made the boys feel so small. It's interesting how they had so much smoke for Aaron, they had so much smoke for Kendall, they had so much smoke for Cordell, but they didn't have smoke for Miguel because they knew Miguel is a man. He's not a little boy. They can toss around these little boys, but Miguel would have told them as is. And he told her, I'd known you a couple of days, I knew a couple of days, I wanted to compare which was stronger. And they immediately shut it down because they knew that he didn't have the time of day for their nonsense. And so as much as they're aggrieved, I hate with a passion the way they were talking to the boys. I dislike it. Had Serena been Kayla, I understand Kayla, but Serena, sadly, my empathy for her goes out the window. Yes, I'm sad she's crying, but I'm not sad that Cordell did what he did, because she did exactly the same thing when she went with Nigel and was kissing Nigel. She did exactly the same thing when she tried to pursue Miguel and Miguel wasn't interested. She did the same thing when she tried to pursue Koi. So suddenly he's pursued one person, he's got a connection, now it's a sin to her. He wasn't her boyfriend, as Will on Love Island UK said. They weren't exclusive. He didn't tell her, I love you. So what is it? Unless I missed it. Anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 17. Bye guys.